Where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby Doo, I see you. You got a silver. You're the melody, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shimmer. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. Scooby Doo, if you come through, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby Doo, here are you. You're ready and you're willing. We can count on you, Scooby Doo. I know you'll catch that feeling.
What a way to start the show, right? Hello and welcome to the Thomas Miller Show. My name is Thomas Miller, and you got several, and I do mean several, things you could be doing, things you could be listening to. You could be working in the yard, you could be finishing up your day at work, ready to start your night at work, start your day at work, however you're listening to this show. Point blank is we're here together right now. Follow me on all my social media platforms. I only have 3. I said all like I've got umpteen amounts of social media platforms, like I've got 3,000 of them, when I've only got 3: YouTube, Twitter, and Podbean. So follow me on Twitter at TM Show Talk, on YouTube, The Thomas Miller Show. And if you're listening to me via Twitter or YouTube, you can get all my podcasts uncut over at Podbean. Just search out Thomas Miller. Now, I do want to let you know, right now, all the episodes are up. My past episodes of the podcast, they're up. You can grab them for free. I will not take those down for free. I will leave them up for you at Podbean, but I think we got a couple things that we're ironing out, but it looks like we're going to be moving over to Anchor.fm. There you can subscribe to the show for a small fee. I think we're going to go $3.99 a month, and you get everything, every podcast, every bonus video, any type of pop-up question and answer sessions, random videos that I'm going to put only exclusively for those who want to support the show. And you can do a monthly subscription. You can cancel that anytime you want to. We're this close, and if you could see me through your speaker, I'm making that little this close sign, and we're going to be ready to go. That's a great way for you in the future to support the show. Right now, you can support me via Venmo at NP Media, at NP Media. The link will be in the description below. All right, so let's get into the show. I started off with the classic Scooby Doo. Now, remember Scooby Doo? That was the 1969 intro. I was a wee little lad, getting up Saturday mornings early, going to the kitchen, grabbing the biggest cereal bowl that a 6-year-old, 7-year-old could get, filling it with Trix, Captain Crunch, Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, you know, all the classic stuff. Putting away, way too much milk in the bowl. As a little kid, you did that. If the cereal didn't float to the top of the edge of the bowl, you didn't have enough milk in it. If after you're done eating the cereal and there wasn't at least 2 cups of milk left, you didn't have enough milk in your cereal. And you just drink that sugary goodness down. So I would get my big bowl of cereal and I would sit down and watch Saturday morning cartoons. And one of the best cartoons was Scooby Doo. Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and Ruby Roo. And Scooby Doo. And you'd watch them solve mysteries. And the way they did it was so awesome. And I'm speaking as a little kid. Like I still enjoy every now and then going back and watching a classic Scooby Doo episode. It's freaking awesome. But remember that, and then at the end, you would hear and I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you meddling kids and that dog. And it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Fast forward to 2023. 2023. The year of wokeness. The year of leftist lies. Year of Joe Biden. And now the year that Scooby Doo, the iconic franchise, takes a dump. And I made the mistake of going to HBO Max, and I subscribe to HBO Max because they've got a couple shows that I watch on HBO Max. They've got Walker, Texas Ranger, the reboot, which is questionable writing, but it's something to watch when you're roaming around the house or you're doing something or whatever. Or you just want to get away for a little bit. I watched the reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger. I also watched Game of Thrones there and House of the Dragon. Okay, and I'm thinking, okay, this is awesome. HBO Max is doing some good things. They got some classic shows on there, but for the most part, that's why I've got HBO Max. Well, last week, I saw a show that they're trying to push. And it's a spin-off from the Scooby Doo franchise, and it's called Velma. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll watch it. I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of cool. You see Velma, and you're like, wow, my old memories of Scooby Doo come back. Maybe I can get into it watching a kid's show. Every now and again, like I said, I like to go back and listen to episodes or watch episodes of the old school Scooby Doo. So yesterday, I watched it. I watched an episode of Velma. And let me tell you, it is one of the worst shows I have ever seen. Sometimes you understand the world that we live in and you're like, okay, I get it. The world is woke. But can we just escape and watch family-friendly cartoons and just get away from it all and just try and relive our childhoods? Or maybe even say, hey, you know what? That might be a decent spinoff to a classic franchise. Well, HBO Max, you just took a dump, like I said, when you added this show. This show is a piece of trash. It's a piece of woke garbage. Now, I'm telling you not to go watch it. If you have HBO Max, don't watch it. But I know you will, out of morbid curiosity. It's nothing like you think. So forget everything you remember about Scooby Doo. Forget everything you know about Scooby Doo. Wad it up and throw it out the window, because it is not that. This, number one, it's not a kid's show. You're thinking, okay, Scooby Doo, reboot, Velma, the nerd one in the group, it's got to be a kid's show. Without reading the description, has to be a kid's show. You think, okay, this is great. All right. So you turn it on, and instantly the wokeism starts. To where you're like, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? This is the monologue to the show? And then it goes into more cringy wokeism with the locker room scene. And you're like, okay, I'm glad I watched this, because if my 10-year-old, without me seeing it and just going by my understanding of Scooby Doo and the whole franchise, growing up, bowl of cereal, Saturday mornings, I would say, and then if my 10-year-old daughter was to say, hey, Dad, there's a new show on HBO Max. It's called Velma. As talking about Scooby Doo. Can I watch it? Absolutely. Go ahead and watch it. I give you my permission. Don't do that. If you have children, keep them away from that. It is not. It is not a kid's show. It's very adult. It is very adult, from language to nudity to really, really demonic scenes, murder. It is not a kid's show. So do not let your kids watch this show. Do not let your children watch this show. And if you do watch this show, I'm telling you, here's my disclaimer to you. I told you so. I told you so. It is woke garbage, which leads me into, you have to be aware of the agenda that the powers that run this world are trying to get across to you. I mean, why put this out here? Why put this crap out there to be viewed? Because they want to change the way you see the world. Not only from the reality, but the unreality. The cartoons. I just made up a new word tonight. Unreality. The unreality. They want to change everything that you know and everything that you view. That's what they want to do. So you can't escape their agenda. And I'm telling you, this is not your parents' Scooby Doo. This is not my Scooby Doo. Velma, now, trigger alert. Well, honestly, our podcasts are still free. Once, here's a plug on my show. Once we get everything in place for the subscription, you will get Thomas Uncensored. You will get all my thoughts, all my views, all my opinions. Right now I have to choose things. I have to be careful what I say. Not because I'm afraid to say them, but I just got to be careful until I push go on the subscription. And then it's up to you whether you subscribe and sponsor the show or not. At that point, you're paying for a product. But for right now, I got to just be a little bit careful of what I say. So when you watch this show, remember, this is not your old school Scooby Doo. This is not your 1970s Scooby Doo. They've changed everything. The only thing that is consistent is Fred is white. But they have changed his whole persona. He's wearing the same clothes. He's got the blonde hair, but his whole demeanor is different. I don't know what Velma is, nationality. I don't know what she is, but she's not Caucasian. She's not white. Daphne, not white. Shaggy, not white. Scooby Doo hasn't been introduced. I've only watched the first episode. So Scooby Doo has not been introduced. And I don't know how they're going to do it. What, are they going to make him a cat? So now Scooby Doo's a cat? Or maybe a polar bear? I don't know. Whatever. But the ethnicities are changed. The way they behave has changed. The message that they're trying to get across is weird. There's a weird aura about this new show, Velma. It is a piece of woke trash. We really have to be careful of what we see, what goes in our mind, what goes in our ears, and we have to ask ourselves, what are they trying to tell us without telling us? So now we know. Let's do a quick review here. Scooby Doo is a woke piece of garbage. But I recently saw that the Joker, switching up to another classic character. Remember the Batman comic books? We all know that. Batman and the Joker, you know. The Joker is pregnant. I know. I know. It blows my mind too. The Joker is pregnant. Superman is bisexual. And I don't know what else they're going to do to the other comics. But they're changing the way we remember things. They're altering the reality of our children. Because now children coming up in this world will see a very different entertainment scheme that we grew up with. The characters being changed. They're changing the ethnicities. In some cases, they're changing the gender of characters. So we have to be very careful. And parents, if you're listening to this, parents, please, you have to be involved in what your kids are watching, what they are consuming mentally, and what they're consuming spiritually. We can't just sit our kids in front of the TV like we did, and it's just taken for granted that there's good, wholesome entertainment. And if we're being honest, all of our entertainment wasn't that wholesome back in the day. I go back and I watch some things that I used to watch as a kid, and now I watch it as an adult, and I'm like, oh my gosh. They let us watch that? Well, that's cringy. But what that solidifies for me is this is something that's been slowly taking place. But now the slowly taking place has now gone to, let's ramp this up. Let's really take this to the next level. If you watch Velma, which I highly doubt, I do not recommend at all, this is one thing I want you to please listen to me. Don't watch Velma on HBO Max. And if you do, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what you listen to. Question everything. This channel, this podcast, is designed to make you think. Do your research. What are they trying to show us? Be aware. I thank you guys for listening to today's podcast. I really do. Like I said, you have other things that you could watch, but you chose to watch or listen to, but you chose to listen to this podcast, and it's greatly appreciated. You can support the show for now via Venmo. NP Media. That's NP Media. I've got a subscription coming up to where you'll pay, I think, what did I say, $3.99, and you get everything, my random videos as well. And I have a lot of those that are just sporadic, because I really think sometimes instead of doing a highly produced video, I want to give you stuff that I'm thinking about, stuff that's on my mind, but I don't want to censor myself. I don't want to have to think about it. I just want to be able to say it, because we have to keep talking about these things. We have to continue to spread the word that there's something going on. This world is not what you think it is. Thank you guys for listening to the show. I will talk to you next time.